Hey everybody, it's Alex Jones from Jones Firearms Coaching, and today is Dryday Friday. What is Dryday Friday? Well, it's when I'm going to bring you pro dry fire tips for the basic, the intermediate, and advanced average armed citizen. So let's get right into it. Oh, before I start, make sure you subscribe to this channel. This is a new channel and I need your support, okay? So like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can be notified when there's more content like this. So let's jump right into it. Today's tip for Dryday Friday is going to be movement, right? And we're talking about advancing movement and moving back, all right? So we want to talk about that in context, okay? Because I don't want people just moving back and forth and not knowing the reason why they're moving back and forth, okay? So let's start with moving forward, okay? If I'm going to be, let's say, centered on this target right here, for example, and if I'm going to move, and I don't have much space, so hopefully you can see me do this. But of course, we're going to get a good grip. We're going to get a good stance. All the basic natural fundamentals that we should be doing now. Okay. Before we get moving, I do want to say that you got to know the reasons why you would want to move towards a target, right? Or in a forward motion. One, to get to cover. That's probably the main reason why you should be moving, advancing on your target or advancing towards your target. Is when you want to get to cover. Because where you may be at, you may have nothing else around, but there may be a telephone pole in front of you that you need to run to gain cover. So that's one good reason of why you may want to close the distance. Now, the next reason is some people may disagree, but you may be closing the distance to actually get a closer or better shot on the threat or on the threat that you're trying to engage, right? I don't highly recommend it if you can run the cover somewhere else or create the distance to lessen the opportunity for the threat to get you, but you may have an instance where you may have to advance onto that threat. Now, when we look at movement, we want to make sure that, again, we got our grip, we got a good stance. When it comes to moving towards a target, right? A lot of people, when you tell them, move towards the target with the gun, you see a lot of stuff like this. You see them point, and they drag, you got the drag, and then you got the stump, right? A lot of times people will do that. And that's because your brain is trying to do something at the same time. Your brain is doing something where you got all these, where your body's trying to do something else, right? So this is what I tell people. Put your gun down, stand in front of a target, and walk towards your target, just like you would any other time, right? Touch your target. Again, stand in front of your target, walk up to your target, touch your target. Now, when it comes to actually walking, you can let me take the gun out of the picture so I can kind of explain this a little better. When you're walking towards your target, you want to make sure that you're going from heel to toe. Okay, so I don't know if y'all can see that here. I don't know where my camera is, but you definitely want to be walking heel to toe, heel to toe, heel to toe, heel to toe in a straight line. Okay. Now, when you put the gun in that, if you're going to be, I'll say if you're going to be engaging your actual target. Okay. So meaning that your gun is out and you're walking towards your target. That's what we're going to practice today. So from here, remember, your walk is still the same. The only thing that really changes now is that you're going to be presenting your gun towards your target. So it should look like this: heel to toe, heel to toe, heel to toe, right? That's how you want to walk with your gun. Now, some people have a tendency to actually want to change their elevation when they're walking as well. So for example, you may see some people who, as soon as they got a gun in their hand, you tell them walk towards the target, they put the gun down, they get really mean, and then they walk around like this, right? Is that necessary? No. And in another video that I'm going to do about your whole shooter's platform and your presentation, you're going to see that it does matter if you're ducking your head or not. Now, one reason why I like for platforms to be straight up when you're walking like that, because if you're in a low ready position, here's a good example. Let's say you're walking down the hall or you're walking through your house. I want you to be nice and tall, right? Where you can scan. You're trying to be as relaxed as you can. You want to take away some of that anxiety, right? So if the threat does come, you can bring it on up, right? But the last thing I want you to do, if you can prevent it, is walking around the house like this. So the first thing startle you, then you're rocking and rolling, and you may have a negligent discharge. That's my reasons for it. So when we're advancing our target, again, remember it's heel to toe, heel to toe, heel to toe, right? So it'll be heel to toe, heel to toe, heel to toe. Okay. Now, of course, you can speed this up, and I don't have much space to work in here right now, but you can definitely speed this up. But for a beginner, you should be learning the basic movements of walking with your gun. Okay. Now, we also have retreating or moving backwards moving. Now, you may say, when would I move backwards? One, of course, you may have a threat that may be shooting at you, worst case scenario, may be shooting at you, and you really need to start backing up and start to engage that threat as well. Another reason would be is you may draw your gun in a defensive display of a firearm, right? For example, you may have somebody right in front of you, and they may pull a knife out on you. And maybe to avoid shooting them and lessening the opportunity, you may draw your gun, and now you're in a low ready position, and you're starting to move back. And at the time you're starting to move back, you're also starting to what I like to call calling plays, meaning you're giving them commands. You're verbally communicating with them, telling them what you want them to do and what you don't want them to do, right? So if you have to back up, it might look like this. It may be like, get back, stop, drop the knife, drop the knife. And the whole time you're going back. I can tell you, I've seen students, and just, this looks really simple on camera, but for beginners, it's really hard to do, to be able to verbally command exactly what you want and be able to walk back and be able to have the gun presented in a ready position in order for you to engage if you need to. That can be very difficult. So you don't need much space to do this, but give yourself enough walking space so where you can practice going forward and going backwards, because it's very important. Now, again, you may be here. I'm going to do it from the aspect that I'm going to be presenting my gun and walking backwards, right? So if I'm here, I'll be walking backwards. What am I doing here? Normally I'm prepping students to do this, and I'm trying to prep myself for it. There's no editing in these videos, by the way. Okay, so the skill should look just like this. You get on target, stay back, drop the knife, get away from me, stop right now, right? So if you saw, everything was focused, everything was on point. I was looking at my target. I had my gun presented to my target, and I kept the toe to heel. Remember, it's reversed now, so toe to heel. But yes, these are two basic skills of movement that you can actually do every single day, which I highly, highly encourage my beginner students to do, is start to, maneuver that gun. Start to walk with that gun, okay? Start to walk with it. Start to move with it. Believe me, you're going to put yourself at so much more of an advantage than if you didn't. A lot of people don't understand this, but 95%, in my opinion, of what you can learn about guns and self-defense can be done in your homes or in a classroom, right? All the movement and stuff, man, like, you can't really do that on most flat or static ranges, right? So you can take your space, do some dry fire, get a training aid, get your real gun, unload it, whatever, but get moving. Because if all you do is stand on the range and shoot rounds like this, boom, 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 and you do that, 2, 3, 4 times a month, then when a deadly situation actually comes upon you, that's all you're going to revert to. And your brain is going to start fogging, is going to start shutting down, right? So forward movement, meaning advancing movement, and retreating movement, meaning moving back, okay? Try those. I guarantee you, as simple as it sounds, it actually starts to sharpen your focus if you have the right intention when you're doing it. So that's Dryday Friday for today. Stay tuned. Remember, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell for more content like this. I appreciate y'all's support. Peace.